Raiders fire offensive coordinator Luke Getsy after falling to 2-7. The Las Vegas Raiders are making changes to their coaching staff following a disappointing start to the 2024 season. On Sunday night, just hours after their 41-24 loss to the Cincinnati Bengals, the team announced they were parting ways with offensive coordinator Luke Getsy. This firing comes after a brutal stretch for the Raiders, who have now dropped to 2-7 on the season. The offense has been underperforming all year, averaging the sixth fewest points per game and the second fewest rushing yards, which led to mounting frustration, interim changes and coaching staff shakeup. In addition to Getsy's dismissal, the Raiders also let go of offensive line coach James Craig and quarterbacks coach Rich Scangarolo. To fill the void, Scott Turner, the team's passing game coordinator and former Washington Commanders offensive coordinator, will step in as the interim offensive coordinator for the remainder of the season. Turner brings experience to the role after serving as Washington's offensive coordinator from 2020 to 2022. And his tenure with the Raiders could provide some stability in what has been a tumultuous offensive season. The struggles under Getsy, who was in his first year with the Raiders after 2 seasons as the Bears' offensive coordinator, faced heavy criticism for his play calling, which head coach Antonio Pierce had previously called into question. Pierce had specifically mentioned that Getsy's play calling had to improve, citing that the team's inability to capitalize on scoring opportunities was a direct result of poor offensive execution. Despite some hopes for improvement, Sunday's loss to the Bengals made it clear that changes were necessary. Gardner Minshew II and Desmond Ridder struggled throughout the game, combining for just 157 passing yards and a single touchdown late in the fourth quarter. The rushing attack was similarly ineffective, with the Raiders managing only 60 yards on the ground. Both Minshew and Ridder lost fumbles during the game. On the other side, the Bengals' offense, led by Joe Burrow, was firing on all cylinders. Burrow threw for 251 yards and 5 touchdowns, while Chase Brown ran for 120 yards and Mike Gesicki caught 2 touchdowns. The stark contrast in offensive production highlighted the issues the Raiders are facing. The state of the Raiders. The Raiders are in the midst of a 5-game losing streak. And with a 2-7 record, the team's playoff hopes have all but evaporated. This puts added pressure on Pierce, who took over as the Raiders' interim head coach last season after the firing of Josh McDaniels. Pierce finished with a 5-4 record after taking over mid-season. But his overall record now stands at 7-10 since becoming the full-time head coach. After Sunday's loss, Pierce acknowledged that everything needed to be evaluated as the team enters their bye week. The firing of Getsy marks the first major personnel change of the season. But with the Raiders' playoff chances dwindling, further changes could be on the horizon. The Raiders have one of the most challenging stretches ahead, with a roster in need of significant rebuilding. The firing of Getsy is a sign that the team is looking to change course. But it remains to be seen whether these adjustments can spark a late-season turnaround or if the Raiders will need to re-evaluate their leadership and roster in the coming months.